There is a wide range of motivation, but at a basic level, from a pure business perspective, it is things such as scale. Now, scale, economies of scale, efficiency, but also the ability to gain depth and breadth of offering for clients. So here you could be adding additional teams to increase your market share. It might be a geographic footprint that you actually want to penetrate a different market. You can't do it from home turf, so you're going to go off overseas. It can be the cross-selling. So now here is a client base, we're in an industry vertical. So let's take the sports sector. Sports people, high net worth, let's add high net worth there. Where do those high net worth people operate? Overseas. So they've got toys all over the place. So now you've got to sort of think in terms of, okay, do I need an international team to coordinate that with other brokers overseas?
Chiefly two, which is to increase scale and to increase geographic reach.
Yeah, and I just think connected to both of those areas is we often see that clients see it as an opportunity to access either clients themselves through the acquired business or the talent that sits in that business. A more cost-effective way of doing that.
In terms of challenges that come along, the first part to try and mitigate those, and let's minimize them, is to have a very clear business strategy about what you want to try and achieve and to have your M&A strategy aligned with it. And that's not a given. So that is number one. Within the M&A strategy, it is then to have very clear criteria for what you are looking for. And I would suggest that culture is number one of that. And it will start to, as I go through some of the challenges, you'll see that so much of it comes back to that because ours is a people industry. So what looks like good financial metric? How are you going to integrate? How are you going to onboard? Or how are you going to retain the talent that you want to attract? So it all comes back to, here is our corporate strategy, this is how we're going to grow. Is there equity available? Are there earnouts? Different tools around that. So if I now come to the sort of the three, so the first thing is how do you find these people or the potential firms, which is with the amount of M&A going on at the moment, a lot of it fueled by PE, not entirely, but a lot of it by PE. There are search firms you can use. You can use your own networks. You can look for referrals, but use the criteria that you have already set. Don't deviate from that. Be very disciplined. So go through that process. Make sure that it's going to align as best you can. I think your second question was for the acquired firm, what are the challenges? It's all around the people. Is this going to make sense? Because it depends on the ownership structure. There might be some individuals who are going to do very nicely out of it, might actually be sailing off into retirement. What about the people that they've got coming through? How do you motivate them? And how do you explain to them, this is why it's good for you? So that needs to be very, very clear. Once on board, how are the clients going to respond? Clients have to be in that mix very high up on the agenda. What are the responsibilities that individuals will take on? Where do they fit within the structure? Underneath that, the acquiring firm, all of the above, and then how are you going to onboard, but integrate, not just over a 6 months period. It's got to be 12, 18, 24, 5 years. Less than 5 years, this is not really strategic, it's opportunistic. Nothing wrong with that, but be aware, and that probably doesn't meet your initial criteria.
The thing from my perspective as an employee benefit professional that is often forgotten is the due diligence element of benefits. And it's a massive area that if it's overlooked or not done correctly, can cause huge problems, financial, but also in terms of the impact on talent in the business. So just to give some examples, there are potentially contractual obligations to do with maybe pension schemes or healthcare or life assurance benefits that if they are not audited correctly at the point of acquisition, then potentially can expose the acquiring business going forwards. There will be potential compliance issues, and that's before you've even got to the stage of considering how you actually integrate different benefits and cultures connected to different benefits from two different workforces that you might be bringing together.
People and premises and the integration of those, harmonisation of cultures, as you know, Mark has talked about. Nothing more complex than that, I don't think.